Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Manuela. I'm an Italian designer and currently curator of the Hong Kong Pavilion for Countless City Biennale at Farm Cultural Park in Favara, in Sicily. It is my pleasure today to host this webinar in collaboration with the European Design Institute in Milan. So today we will have a very interesting conversation with Andrea Tosi, head of YED ambassador, Giovanni Ottonello, YED art director, and Isabel Berz, head of YED research and education center. This webinar is like a creative bridge between European Design Institute and Farm Cultural Park for European Bauhaus, with the aim of promoting aesthetics and sustainability, starting from fashion design, which the Hong Kong Pavilion for Countless Cities Biennale 2021 promote sustainability and humanity through a cave of fabrics and color created by myself from January to May. And the pavilion is about Hong Kong. So Hong Kong identity in terms of like density, in terms of city, but it focuses a lot on sustainable fashion design. Since last year, at the end of 2020, I was teaching online sustainable fashion design workshop with students from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. And the aim of the workshop was creating a community of creative based on sustainable fashion design, making dresses and design all made by recycled fabric, plastic bag without sewings. From this workshop, at the end of this, we decided to include this project into the Countless Cities Biennale, and this project became a pavilion of light, a pavilion of color, a pavilion of recycled fabrics. The Biennale itself is like a way to promote sustainability, to promote a communication between cities across the world. And in my project, in my pavilion, the Biennale is a way to communicate about sustainability more than everything. We will see during this presentation some video about what is the pavilion itself, because I spent months to cut fabrics, to cut recycle old clothes, and creating an architecture of light, all inspired by the density and the color from Hong Kong. So before we start this presentation, I'd love to tell you a little some information regarding material that you can download today from in big markers. You can have there is a section and out where you can find some technical information regarding our presentation. And also, before we start, you can even, if you have any question regarding today's webinar, you can use the panel Q&A. You can start to write down some questions, and then we will answer you at the end of this webinar. So we can, back to my project. Okay, perfect. So here, right now, I'm in at Farm Cultural Park, where is the pavilion, Hong Kong Pavilion. You can see the main entrance of it. That is a celebration of the culture, Hong Kong culture, the place where I spent 5 years of my life teaching there and living the city in all the aspects. I should be there, but due to the pandemic, I was stranded in India, and then I decided to fly back to Italy. So I'm here in Favara, and I was totally immersed in this project where I combine my emotion, my vision with a beautiful culture that I had the chance to explore in Hong Kong. As you can see in these images, there is a lot of the city itself is full of color, exactly how Hong Kong it is, with the neon light during the night and with the beautiful color of the building during the day. This project that is all based on sustainability is also a way to celebrate life and emotion and sensorial approach to our daily life, because we invite people to be connected with nature, to touch, to explore, to feel. The name of the pavilion is the 5 senses of the future, because behind this approach to sensoriality, to sensory experience, there is an idea to connect people with nature and being more ethical, because in the same time when you feel connected with nature, you feel like more like open to protect our planet and to be more sustainable. At the same time, during this year, I was also able to create some small accessories and some other project as a collateral event of the Hong Kong Pavilion, using all the leftover threads I was collecting during my working days here at Farm Cultural Park. And in the next slide, you can see here, this is the final outcome of the last year Sustainable Fashion Design Workshop online with students from Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. I was coordinating them on how it's possible to make design, creating clothes just using recycled fabric and plastic bags. My students were stranded also in different countries during the pandemic. This is from Indonesia. She used recycled plastic bags to make a new design, and she was totally inspired by her culture and color from Indonesia, from Jakarta. But then the next one, the student, she's from Taiwan. She was in Taiwan when she attended my workshop online. And the dress is all made by recycled fabric. This is from India. So when we arranged a photo shooting in Hong Kong, because all students, they ship to Italy all the final design. So I was able to arrange a final photo shooting in Favara, using enjoying the place a lot, and some of the shots you can see here are made into the private houses in Favara. And you can see here also an approach to Indian culture, because this student, she's from India, but she's still studying in Hong Kong. So in the final photo shooting, we try to blend the culture of the student with the local vibes of Favara. And in the last one, that is the student, she's from Hong Kong. She was inspired by peace and by neon light in Hong Kong. So all the design is all made by recycled fabrics, no sewing at all. And we arranged the final photo shooting at the garden at Farm Cultural Park. From the final, this Sustainable Fashion Design Workshop, we selected 4 designs that right now are showcased at Farm Cultural Park inside the Hong Kong Pavilion. And yes, it's a way just to celebrate not only life in a moment of pandemic where it was impossible to be close each other, but we were still working, teaching, and creating something that is meaningful, and probably focusing also on our future. That future is now, so we have to work on that and try to really connect students across the world to think out of the box. And this one is the last one. Was a top that I created with students during the online workshop, again, all made by recycled fabric and plastic bags. So this project is also showcased at the Biennale right now at Farm Cultural Park. And for me, sustainability is a way to feel our potential, to blend with nature, and to create with love every day of our life. So this one is just in general why we are here today and why we created this connection with YED, but also we had the chance to start to promote this message of sensory experience and sustainability. Last year, we had a first webinar in collaboration with professor from Italy, from Polytechnic, some professionals from Hong Kong and India. And the webinar with YED is the second one. We will have more webinar coming soon in July. The main point is to invite people from different parts of the world to be connected by the meaning of senses and sustainability. And as a collateral event of Hong Kong Pavilion for Countless Cities Biennale 2021, it is really my pleasure today to present Andrea Tosi, head of YED Ambassador. So I think, hi Andrea, hi, good morning.
Hi Manuela.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I think we can start, so you can present yourself. Stage is yours, so thank you so much.
Very nice, thank you Manuela. we are very happy as ID, Istituto Europeo di Design, to participate, the chance to present some of our project in the context of Countless City Biennale in Favara Cultural Park. I wanna thank Manuela for make this connection and this occasion happens. We are in touch with Manuela since quite a lot of time because she is alumnus of ID. She studied at ID, and then she moved to Hong Kong. So we were in touch with her because of international academic relations. She put in contact the ID with other higher education institutions in Hong Kong and in India. So a big thanks to Manuela for this enthusiasm and this great bond that connect you and the ID. So today I'm going to introduce my colleagues who has been involved in a special format of cooperation between universities. We named this format Joint Workshop, and this is actually innovative format of academic cooperation aimed at make more livable the interaction between students, faculties, and cultures, other than the institutional academic relations. So the format is quite simple. We have some ingredients, and ingredients are, of course, the faculties. As main institution in design education in Italy, and one of the main in Europe, the ID, Istituto Europeo di Design, kind of several collaboration with professionals as faculty, and a great involvement of companies. Companies are active part of our pedagogy. So the way we decide to cooperate with international institutions through the workshop, and the workshop is a combination of company, faculties, and students. So we decided to share the same brief between community of ID and community of partner universities. So in the same team, we are used to work with a group of ID, cooperate with a group of foreign institution, and we came out with a very interesting achievement, especially with two universities. One is based in Korea, and the other one is based in Mexico. And I will quite soon leave the word to my colleague Giovanni Ottonello, who manage the group of students in this workshop in running Korea and in Mexico. Hello, Giovanni. Ciao.
Ciao. Hello, Andrea and Manuela. Hello.
Very nice.
Hello.
I'm very happy to be here with you, with Manuela, of course, for this event.
Great. And then after Giovanni explain and show pictures and the achievement of the group of students who he managed a few years ago, it will be the word to Isabel Berz, who is managing the research center in our campus in Madrid. Ciao, Isabel.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Hello, hi.
Hello, Isabel.
And Isabel did the same than Giovanni with a group of students from Russia, from Stroganov University, based in Moscow. But she pushed even had this format because we are innovators. We pretend to be innovators in design education, and as soon as we test a new format of cooperation of academic cooperation with foreign institutions, then we want to hack it and we want to make it more complex. We want to put our hands on the format itself. So thanks to Isabel group, we even strengthened some element of this format. So before to leave the word to my colleagues, I just want to highlight on some point. Of course, we have to have a group of students of ID in touch with a group of another university students and faculty. They collaborate in distance, which is quite convenient for us in terms of budget and recently in terms of restrictions in moving and traveling from a country to another one. But at the end, the students meet in person, colleagues and peers, because they collaborate in the exhibition. So we set up an exhibition with the achievement realized jointly. And the achievement, of course, are amazing. And is amazing the quality of human interaction between community of students that doesn't meet each other before. And is amazing and very important the effort in cultural mediation and in mixing different culture with the objective of innovating in design and in fashion. So I want now leave the word directly to Giovanni, who is going to explain how he managed this group of students, how he get in touch with faculties from different universities around the world in order to come out with the innovative thoughts and design. Thank you, Giovanni.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. I repeat, thanks to Manuela for this event, and thanks to ID Alumni, of course, to permit us to be here to collaborate with Manuela. At the same time, I'm very proud to have been personally involved in these two projects, which are distant in space, but close in method and goal. They have been both really interesting for different reasons and implications. I decided I had come up with a few keywords to help you better understand the structure. The first word is passion, tradizione. The aim was to study a method of working with a fabric, a specific kind of fabric, explaining to the students the complex techniques, specific to yarns and texture, and then putting the students to work actually making the fabric. It's different level. Not only I wanted to design something, but comprehend exactly the importance of the process, the importance of the method behind, the story behind, of course. The other keywords is preserve. Preserve history, to become aware of being our past today. Not only design a collection, but also understand the ethical value of the whole project. This one for ID, and not only for ID, it has been the goal and the topic, to create this balance, this link between the design and the fabric. Getting in touch with a different culture, their tradition, to find inspiration, to create exactly an environment, to create a link. The first project is called Two Ethos, and it was born in collaboration with between ID and the Korean University KNUK. KNUK is in the same time, there was an homage by ID alumni to Sangi Kim, very important, our students in the past. In Italy, from our campus in Como and Milan, and obviously the other group in Korea. In Buyeo, the place of the university, were reconstructed all the looms necessary for fabric production, and they followed the students step by step, weaving by weaving. You know? I felt a great emotion to see young students working for 8 hours to produce 4 centimeters of fabric. You know? I was there, and I visited the place, the university, and I visited the laboratory, and it was extraordinary, especially in such a frenetic world. Their time and time management is increasingly based on technology and virtual world. It has been the first shocked in the part, but enthusiastic in the other part. Another important keyword, indeed, it is slowness, not in a negative sense, but the attention and passion needed to design. This traditional Korean fabric coming from different regions of the country and the different historical periods, also with the mother of pearls and silver threads, following traditional processing methods recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. And this journey arrived at ID, where having understood the value both of design and the wovens, were made several capsule collection of clothes and accessories. 3 levels of intervention: textile design, fashion design, and accessories. The strong idea was to link the past to the present for building a future for fashion too, of course. One question we asked ourselves was, can a Western consumer buy and thus understand that word? Me, I can wear something so far. I can have the right cultural approach to understand the project or the fabric or the shape. And not only to understand how an ancient fabric could become part of our daily life, but also how new shapes and vision could serve to communicate a message. Remember that behind a dress, behind a color, behind a fabric, there is a message of safeguarding a tradition. After almost a year of work and many revisions, also linking the 2 countries in real time, the best project selected took an ID students to Korea, both to get to know the culture and the place, of course, and to participate in the exhibition event held in a very important art gallery in Seoul, in presence of important local and Italian authorities, and finally also to witness the creative process. It's very important for us to communicate exactly. These images represent the event in Seoul. We are very proud, not only in terms of school, but to support the new talent. The second project took us to Mexico, to a very poor district called Oaxaca, on the occasion of celebration of Mexico City as the World Design Capital 2018. The goal during the special masterclass was multiple. To communicate an interesting reality outside Mexico, to support a community in difficulty through the textile production sector, and to try to elevate a raw fabric, considered cheap, to a fabric suitable for other uses. ID, in this case, collaborated with ANUAC University in Mexico City, and RACU, Racist Culturals. A local cooperative helps local women to protect a millenary tradition and technique under the patronage of a Mexican embassy in Italy and the Mexican consulate in Italy. So we decided to call the project Dandy Couture, a clear provocation. We had taken and studied the fabric made to survive and to take a small object to sell to tourists, and brought it into luxury, into men's fashion world. The occasion was the Pitti Uomo Fashion Week in Florence, and the understanding of what it means to dress a contemporary man. What elegance is, and how one could be provocative or instead conservative in style, no? A balance, raw fabric, contemporary collection, but with a dandy mood, no? In the past. A journey through the evolution of high-profile menswear. Also, in this project, we created two working groups involving the ID fashion departments of Florence and Rome, and the Mexican students of the School of Fashion, Innovation and Trends. To Mexico, and the Mexican students came to Florence during the important Pitti Filati event to see the exhibition and the clothes made, of course. For us, it was important not only to gain experience and cooperation in the project, but to give a student the opportunity to live both reality. In conclusion, these are two examples among many that ID has achieved over the years and is still pursuing as we speak. Sustainable and creative project where students grow, exchange ideas with each other, and with experts from different disciplines, but above all understand the meaning of inclusion and design. Inclusion is, of course, one of the most important keywords for the future. Thank you so much for the attention. And of course, if you have a question, we are here to answer it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Giovanni. And thank you, many thanks, Andrea, for your introduction and presentation. Isabel, you're here. Okay, so the stage is yours. You can start your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you, Manuela, and thank you, Giovanni, for your inspiring stories. It's amazing. Yeah, these are real, very inspiring learning environments for our students. So, and also, I'm very pleased today to tell you another story, which is built on the other side of the planet. It was born in Peru. This is Las Manuelas. Just a minute, I have here. At IIT Madrid, we started this project several years ago. It was impulsed by Economists Without Borders, and we developed it with the collaboration of a Peruvian NGO, Movimiento Manuela Ramos, and they are operating in whole Peru since 40 years to empower women in rural areas. So we were invited to design a collection in alpaca wool because these women live in the south of Peru, in the region of Puno, which is the epicenter of alpaca worldwide. And they make the whole process on their own, because actually they're alpaca herders and not only artisans. And they develop the whole process from the beginning. They raise the animals, they take care of them, they skill, they prepare the yarns, they dye them with the natural colors, and they also do the knitting at the end. So we were very lucky to start this project with a visit to this area with a group of students of IED Madrid. And when we visited this woman, we cohabitated with them for 6 weeks, which was actually the main reason that we understood who they are and how is our project, because the project then developed into a need to build a bridge between designers and artisans to avoid the hierarchies which usually exist in fashion value chains, and to give the people who produce a voice. So it was the idea of the students, which after a couple of weeks when we were there, and they said to me, we don't want to design for them, we want to design with them. So by 2012, this was quite new for me also. And it took us a while also for the organization to understand why we would design with them and how it would be. It started with the manual kit, and by the time IED, we developed a digital platform, which is very easy to use. So you can see on the picture also, the idea that you see in the middle, the developer of the platform. We took quite a time to make the platform as easy so that the artisans could actually intervene in the platform. So this is the base of our new project, which is we are developing happily with the Moscow State Stroganov Academy of Design and Applied Arts. So this came out when I visited this academy and to present the Las Manuelas project. And very spontaneously, we had this idea to do something together with the Las Manuelas. And so we brought together a group of students. You see here the 10 students who are participating. We have 5 students from Moscow, 3 students from IED Madrid, and 2 students from Kunsthal IED Bilbao. So this is the group we brought together. And at the beginning, the idea was to make 2 workshops, one in Moscow, one in Madrid. But the pandemic arrived. And last year, we decided to go on with the project and to do it on a virtual dimension, which was quite tricky. And I'm very grateful about the experience, because when you really want something and there is a meaning behind and you have a real purpose, people stick to it. So we really succeeded. So because it was the whole project was about coming out of, how to express the zeitgeist of our contemporary society, how to give a new voice and also a new formal language to life. And this was inspired by Varvara Stepanova. She was an active member of the Russian conservatism together with her partner, Alexander Rodchenko. And actually our project started with a masterclass on this from Professor Lavrentiev from Moscow. He's a real expert. And this inspiration, how a very specific historical moment would translate into a new formal language was very intriguing for us. And this is what we were looking for, how to build universal languages, also as we did with Las Manuelas, to build a platform which they can understand, which is inclusive. So here the same. what would these 10 students do? Like, which are these new elements which will express what they feel? So the idea was that they would come out with this design manifest and then each one design a textile piece. We usually work in Las Manuelas with big size scarves. But the plan changed because we had a plan, and but somehow in the moment, in the middle of the design process, the students told us, as my students like 8 years ago told me they didn't want to design with for the Manuelas, they wanted to design with them. Here the students told me quite the same. They said, we don't want to design one piece on our own. We want to design a whole piece together. So this was quite complicated because the platform was not meant to do such big size dimensions. So we had to split like this whole in 2 pieces. And these 2 pieces were intervened by all the 10 students who actually made up also the whole agenda to make the sequence of the intervention. And if you see now the pieces, you see actually both sides, and you see how very structured elements, coexist with very fluid and organic elements. And there's no real plan or program behind, but it's just a conversation between, students from different cultures who reached out, even through a virtual dimension, to connect to each other and to co-create together. So now we have to prepare these designs. This is the digital, to send them to Peru. And here our artisans, our women waiting, the Las Manuelas are waiting for us. And you saw the picture before. Here you see a lot of color. The students decided also not to use the color palette of the program, of the tool, of the platform, and just design it in black, gray, and white, so that the artisans could decide which nuances they would use. And this is also very interesting. So they would use what they have. And this is a very huge change in the design methodology, because usually you produce, the colors and the materials the designers want. Here, these designers step back on their creativity and said, no, we are using the materials and the colors they have. This is really very pro biodiversity. And I guess that they're going to use a lot of natural colors and perhaps some rest of other collections. Here we have a very colorful collection at the moment in production. And so this is, again, another surprise. So also this is interesting about the whole project, to not control the results. You have a starting point and then you go on. And actually also this gives us a lot of possibilities to communicate, because we have then this, we built a whole and then we split it into 10, because now 10 artisans are going to knit everyone one piece. And then we can also reconstruct it in several ways. And this could be a GIF, like a video. We hope that we are going to make exhibitions in Moscow, also in Spain, or perhaps in other places. Actually, Las Manuelas was exposed in Madrid, in Lima, at the Museum of Modern Art MAC, in Paris at Première Classe, and even in a concept store in Tokyo, in Concento. So we are looking forward. We will see what happens with this collection. And at the end, you have this community, and this community, it's not only about the students, there are also the teaching staff behind, which was interesting, also that teachers and staff of IED could exchange and connect to people in the same categories in other universities, and also to connect to the Las Manuelas. So there's a whole community behind who was really able to step back. Like I stepped back when the students said, we want to change your whole plan. And I said, okay, now it was really, we had to enlarge, the agenda, but okay. And then also the teachers who, the teachers who took part in this project are really amazing teachers. And they were like, here they were like just being there, like, staying around the students, because they had to step back also with their knowledge and with their ideas, because the students took over the project, and this is also very important to the success of the project, and I think to the success of academic, that, you know, to give the confidence to people, and then they really took over with responsibility. So I know some are there, so I'm very grateful for this. And yeah, we keep on going, and now we are going to send the digital patterns to Peru, and they will take a couple of weeks or months to do it. And I hope that perhaps next year we can then share with you the end of this beautiful story. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Isabel, for your introduction and presentation. As the project is amazing and very inspiring, it has all project from European Design Institute. So, wow, so very, very inspiring. So many thanks to Isabel, Andrea, Giovanni for sharing today all this beautiful inspiration from different parts of the world. And we just feel we all have a lot of inspiration to meet, even if it's online, but it's a way to spread even more this message on collaboration, of community, sustainability, and beauty at the same time. I have 2 questions for Andrea. The first question is how this joint workshop, that I really, really like, can bring innovation and design through cultural mediation.
Yes, thank you, Manuela. Thank you, Isabel and Giovanni, for sharing your enthusiasm and the achievement you come out with students. So, with the joint workshop is a format. We have ingredients, elements combined together, but with this format, we create a collaborative space to boost, to make possible even intercultural dialogue between different design culture, different way to see clothes, objects. So then we start mapping tradition each other's. Giovanni mentioned they're very far, not only by distance but also by content. No, a very precious tradition in clothes for ceremonies from Korea, and a super poor tradition from handicraft artisans from Oaxaca region. So it doesn't matter the level, the quality. What is important is to map tradition from different cultures each other to achieve innovation. And this is the ideal way, hard way to deliver design and innovation. The ultimate goal of design is to innovate. So it's binomial. And this way come from our cultural roots again. So we are hosted by Fafara. We are in the middle, in the center of Mediterranean. We are part of Euro-Mediterranean civilization and culture. And this attitude we have to contaminate each other come from our roots. Originally, we are a civilization of seafarers, merchants, explorer. People use to interact, to have a positive dialogue with different cultures. To do what at the end? To innovate, to make new things, to come out with newness and change life of people life, and make at the end the world better. Yeah.
Sorry,
Thank you. Yeah.
may I say something about that, about your interesting question, because Andrea about before method, a sort of format. I think that it's very important for us, because we are at school, at the end. It's very important the confront with the reality. Often students produce a collection for the pleasure of surprising, or telling their vision of fashion. But with this method or format, exactly, they can understand how inspiration can come from knowledge of other world, and in the same moment helping them. And this one is it's very it's a privilege in the same moment. A concrete project with the real difficulties and opportunities helps a young talent to enter the world of work. Furthermore, getting to know other students from other university create mental openings, and why not a new friendship can be transformed into concrete future collaboration. Behind every project there must always be a value, ethical value. I talked before about that. It's and this one is could be exactly a format to spread, in all over the world, and to create this bridge, this link with the students and creative and imagination.
Thank you, Giovanni. I really like what the inspiration comes from the knowledge from different world, from different culture. I think now this one is strong, even more stronger than before, because we all feel part of the same world, even though we are not so connected like every day in the real physically, right? But I think this is something very beautiful that it really belongs to the feeling, the idea of humanity that should really guide our inspiration in terms of design and fashion design in general. Thank you. And I have another question for Andrea, because we are like European Design Institute and also Farm Cultural Park now are part of New European Bauhaus. Today also we include this webinar as part of this project. So my question for Andrea is like, that design is a European phenomenon resulting from the interaction with the non-European culture. So in this way, how European Design Institute can start and a new and innovative joint workshop with the other countries. So which one is the process on that?
Okay, so thank you for the question, Manuela. I will invite also Isabel to comment this point, because she managed the research center in ID Spain, and she's quite involved in this new European Bauhaus. So again, the Euro-Mediterranean civilization and culture is a key factor to understand the future direction of the idea towards new partnership with universities. We are open to start new collaborations. Euro-Mediterranean civilization boost and is based on, again, active exchange and dialogue with different cultures, because it's a commercial civilization rather than military one. And this attitude will be boosted even more thanks to our recent affiliation to the New European Bauhaus. That is another bond between the ID and the Favara Park. We both are affiliated to the New European Bauhaus, which is the initiative promoted by the EU for setting new social cohesion, innovation through design, while digging into our tradition, and again, having an active dialogue with other civilization and culture. Design is an European phenomenon, as you say, Manuela, but is thanks to the contamination and the interaction with non-European cultures. So this openness is the key factor for the success of the design in the recent past, and will be in the future the key element for next success. So maybe Isabel, you want to spend some thought about that?
Yeah, thank you. Andrea and Giovanni, you all already mentioned so many things which are very key and important. It's about human-centered innovation. And when we talk about innovation, it really has only a value when it has a real impact. And also this impact is real and long-lasting and for everybody, not only for one part of this collaborative collectives. So therefore, we have to really be careful, because there are so many projects and so many initiatives, but I think what Giovanni also said, there has to be the most important part is the purpose, the real value, which is behind the project. And this makes also that all people commit to the project, because if you don't have a real purpose that is meaningful and significant and is also doing good for everybody in a very equal and horizontal way, people wouldn't commit. Because so what we can do to answer your question, Manuela, at ID, so it's to design actually methodologies, and as we did also tools to make this happen, because bring people together is not easy. It's not easy. People are to collaborate together in a real way. It's not easy, but because one thing is, I get inspired and I do something with this, and I do, perhaps for us now, it's very, very, very important to see the next tip in Las Manuelas when it comes to really giving, communication. And I think students also had to engage there, because otherwise the whole project stays inside our universities. But we want to empower this woman. We want to help this woman. So we need to go until the end. So I would say it's very important to learn from other projects, so that the projects are not isolated, to make like a pool of projects, to connect learnings and to design methodologies, and actually also tools which can really enable and enhance creativity and collaboration. I think this is what we have to do from ID, what we already started, but I think this should be our focus.
Many thanks, Isabel. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And so thank you to all the participants. I don't think we have a question from the audience. I don't think so. So I will end this webinar very soon. A lot of thanks, Andrea, Giovanni, and Isabel, for being today guests of this beautiful, very inspiring webinar between Favara and Milano and Madrid. So yes, thank you so much. And again, for the audience, you can download all the material from Hangout, find all the information there. I hope it was inspiring for everybody today. And so love from Favara, and I hope to see you very soon in person. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Giovanni.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.